All right, we have Dominick Reyes on the program, and man, many still believe a little over 2 months later should be the UFC light heavyweight champion after that incredible battle with Jon Jones at UFC 247. It's been a little while since I've had the chance to chat with the Dominator in this capacity. Dominick, how are you, man?
I'm good, Mike. How you doing, man?
Doing great. First question, which is the most important question. How are you doing during this crazy, unprecedented time in the world with COVID-19? How are you doing? How's everybody around you doing?
Everybody around me is safe and healthy, so that's nice. And I'm doing all right, man. Just doing a lot of yard work.
There you go. And you're multitasking like crazy, driving very safely, as you can see. The hands-free technology working in your favor, I see.
Yeah, man.
It's great having you here. Like, we sort of touched on this after your win over Chris Weidman in Boston at the post-fight press conference. From viral KOs on the regional scene to your quick UFC debut. I remember interviewing you after that first fight, and people were coming up to you and recognizing you on the streets in the middle of that conversation. Then you were headlining events and fighting for titles. I mean, it's crazy, man. Like, 6 or so year story. Cool. This would be a little bit different if that belt was on your mantle, but this has been a crazy ride so far, is it not?
Dude, it's been the most awesome ride. This wave is gnarly, bro. I love it. Every day is like, I feel myself getting better. I feel myself maturing and figuring this game out. And man, I'm having fun. It's hard not to smile, man. It really is.
I know in Boston, your first UFC main event, this was something like a bunch of us in the media covering the event we're talking about. You were just so relaxed the whole week, like walking around the hotel, walking around the city, like you were just having the time of your life. You were just taking it all in. As you're preparing to fight Jon, this is the GOAT in a lot of people's eyes. You're fighting for your first world title. Did that fight feel any different to you? Was there any extra in the butterfly department?
It was strange, man. All week, it was a little more because it was a title fight. And it was Jon. I regard him as the best of all time, to be honest. So that was big for me as well. But yeah, I was a little nervous. All my nerves went away when I was driving to the arena on fight night. I was driving. We were in a Lamborghini. Yeah. And I remember talking to my brother and being like, hey, man, like, no matter what happens, bro, like, I know that no matter what happens, I still have you and my family. And no matter what, it's going to be fine. Like, it's not going to, no matter what happens in this fight, it's not going to change who I am. So, like, he looked at me and, like, he's like, yeah, bro, you got this. Like, you're more than ready. Like, no matter what happens, we're all here for you no matter what. And I was like, heck yeah. And then it all just melted away and I was ready to go. I was like, I got to the arena. I was so relaxed and I was just kicking it like backstage.
Were you even more confident on fight night? Like, as you're pulling up to the arena, especially in a Lamborghini, for God's sake, were you just feeling even more confident heading into that fight?
Yeah, man. As soon as I walked in, as soon as we got there, I was like, oh, heck yeah. I had a nice, custom fitted suit on. I looked good. I was like, I'm here. It's time. This is my night. This is my time. The only thing that's going to stop me tonight is me. So.
I mean, the fight was great, man. You gave Jon hell. You've talked about it a lot over the last couple of months. I'm curious, how many times have you gone back and watched that fight with Jon since it happened?
So I've only seen it twice. I've seen it, hundreds of thousands of times in my own head, but I watched it on camera twice.
Did anything change watching it back? I mean, you were in there, but watching it back, did you see things any differently? Because I know watching the fight at first, because I was recapping it, I had scored it for you. I watched it the second time with the sound off and no computer screen in front of me. I still had scored it for you. But I thought, I guess I could see how some people thought it was a little bit closer, but I still scored it for you. Did anything change watching it back at all?
No, man, it was exactly how I remember it going. It was actually better than I remember it going in my head. So that was cool. I mean, it was just like I thought. I mean, it could have been 4-1 for me. I still hold that same thought. I mean, you watch the film in the beginning of the fourth, I had him hurt pretty good, and then I kind of let off the gas. because I didn't want to burn myself out. But whatever. It is what it is. We'll come back and we'll knock him out next time.
As you've seen it, as the world has seen at this point, a lot can happen in a short amount of time. We're in the middle of a global pandemic, and in the midst of this wild times, Jon Jones found himself in trouble with the law once again. I saw you react to it on social media not long after, but after seeing the reports, I don't know if you watched the videos at all that have surfaced, but what was going through your mind when you saw this news?
First thing I thought was like, again, like, what is this guy doing? Secondly was, I'm glad it didn't happen before our fight. And then third was, this guy needs some real help. So that was my entire thought process on it. And that was really it.
Is there, I mean, like you said, I think a lot of people sort of reacted to this, that we figure he just needs to get the help that he needs. He needs to do it himself. Is there any part of you that feels bad for Jon through all of this?
No, not at all. I feel bad for a lot of people, but definitely not Jon Jones, ever.
In a way, with all of this, it kind of leaves a lot up in the air in terms of the 205-pound division moving forward, especially right now with what's going on in the world. And we've seen how the UFC has dealt with these situations over the years. Sometimes they act on it, sometimes they don't. Do you think they act on it here? Do you think there'll be any repercussions from the UFC should something happen here?
Man, I don't even. I got nothing for you, man. I'm not one of those decision makers. Honestly, I would like to. I think the punishment should be you got to rematch Dom. That should be the punishment. Right?
Yeah.
It only makes sense.
Yeah, because
I'll serve up some justice. I'm fine with that. Let's do it.
Because I know you've done some other interviews, and you essentially said that the UFC was interested in running this one back, and there were talks about maybe in the fall. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm kind of spitballing here, but it sounds like you were in, they were in, Jon's the one thing holding it back. Is that accurate?
That is accurate.
Is it a little frustrating right now? Because most people would agree, I'll lay my cards on the table. I've said this before. I think the rematch makes all the sense in the world, and I think you do too. But with all this uncertainty, being so close to becoming a champion and just not knowing what the next move is, you seem very happy. But is it a little tough for you right now, deep down inside?
I'm very happy because I'm healthy and happy, man. But it's a little frustrating. I would have gave him a rematch if the judges would have scored it right. I would be like, yeah, man, you got the rematch, you deserve it. Good fight. But I don't know. He's not exactly a stand-up guy, so I can't. I don't. He's a guy where you expect nothing, and then if you get something, you're like, yeah, cool. I don't expect anything from this guy. I don't expect any goodness from him. But if we get some, then heck yeah. So I only can control what I can control at the end of the day, and I can control my attitude. I control, I'm training. But other than that, I'm not going to stress out over something that I have no power over. I have power over it where I could, keep poking the bear and all that, but, You don't
really need to do that, right? I mean, you can, exactly. But why?
Exactly. So I'd rather just smile and be happy, like whatever, man.
That's the best way to do it. We've seen Jan Blachowicz make his presence felt in the division. He wants that fight with Jon after the finish of Corey. What have you made of what Jan's done as of late?
Oh man, the social media stuff that he said he wants to fish Jon. That's hilarious, man. Jan, that's hilarious, man. Way to one up Jon with his weird gay talk, and then one up it. I'm gonna fist you. Yes.
Is that the tweet of the year in 2020 so far?
I don't even think he intended it to be the tweet of the year. I don't even know. There was quite a lot of good tweets. That was good. That was good. I respect that, Jan. I respect that.
Outside of the tweeting, in terms of the fighting, what have you made of him?
Oh, I think he's a fantastic fighter. I think he's one of the most technical guys in the division. I think he has some really good power. Yeah, I think he's just a technical beast, and he has a lot of experience where he's wise with his technical ability. So I've been wanting to fight Jan since I beat Jared Cannonier. I don't know if you guys know or remember, I called him out right after the fight. So, I mean, this is a guy I've been wanting to fight for a minute. So if there's an interim, then yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. But I think we're gonna get that rematch first.
You think you're gonna get the Jon fight? You think it's happening?
I think I'll get it over Jan, whatever Polish fight.
But if they
do,
do,
would Jon say he wants to pop some cherries in Poland or some weird crap like that? Like,
he did say that, but who knows? I mean, if we're talking fall, is that sort of your timeline, the fall, or if they offered you, say, the interim fight with Jan, June, July, August, would you jump on that opportunity, or would you rather wait till the fall?
I could do that. I just had to count the months real quick. Yeah, I'm good.
So you're good.
Oh, yeah.
So if we're doing 1, 2, 3, 2 or 3 months down the road, you're in.
I don't know, like we're good. A couple fingers. We're good.
Oh man, what an exciting time 205 is right now. I mean, it's very fun. You got some guys on the come up too. Yeah, Yuri Prochaska is in the UFC now, ready to make his debut, and you've gone from the hunter to the hunted in a little less than 3 years in this division. So from a competitive standpoint, you got to be loving this right now. You got to love being the hunted and the exciting matchups potentially coming your way.
Dude, I freaking love it. So when I first got in the UFC, I was always talk about trying to revive the division, being the new face of the 205s. We got guys coming up, but I'm just the leader of the class. And that's exactly what's happening, man. The division is going to be exciting for the next, as long as I'm in the division, it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of great matchups out there for me. The list is so long now. It's so exciting. I'll just throw out a couple names of guys that I respect in the division that I think I'll fight in the future. So we got Alexander Rakic. We got Kutelaba. We got the new guy that just joined, but we got to see how he fights. Corey Anderson, Johnny Walker, Jan, Thiago. Like this, dude, this is gonna be great. It's gonna be a fun next couple 7-8 years.
Besides the yard work, what else you've been doing during this wild time? Are you enjoying the quarantine life, or are you just ready to sort of move past all of this at this point? I know I'm kind of losing my mind a little bit, but trying to make the most of it. But I don't know how much longer I can do this, Dominick. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, I agree, man. I completely agree. I'm getting a little stir crazy over here. Not stir crazy enough to go out in the middle of the night and do some crazy stuff, but I'm getting stir crazy. That's for sure. But to be 100% honest, man, it's a lot similar to my life normally without COVID. I stay home a lot and I train and I go home. Like my routine is pretty, train, go home, see my family, train, go home, see my family, and then every once in a while throw in an adventure or a nightlife event, So it's similar, but I can't do things with other people anymore. Like I can't go out to a club or it's like just the beach. I mean, there's so many different things. So I'm ready for this to be over, man.
I saw you were teaming up. You did something with Paige Van Zandt for TMZ. Mm-hmm. Talk about that and how much you enjoyed that experience.
Oh, that was really cool, man. So TMZ started this new thing called Fight School. It's on Snapchat. And Paige is the host, and it's really cool. We talked about some of the stuff. Like, for instance, we talked about my uppercut that I landed on Jones, and kind of what I did to set it up and how I seen it. So it's actually a cool show. She's really nice. I think Paige is really cool. I never met her before until then, and she was really nice, really welcoming, and she's a very sweet girl. So Paige is cool, really cool. And that show is pretty cool, too.
We'll have to check that out. I want to end on this note. One thing is for certain, you have had a lot of support on the rise up this division, and even more so since the Jon Jones fight. In a sport like this, it can be like the most negative place in the world, but it seems like that support for you just continues to grow and grow and grow. What does that mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot to me, man. It also means that I'm doing things right. I'm just being me. I'm not trying to be a character. I'm not trying to be a Colby or trying too hard. Like I'm just focusing on my craft, and just being happy. I think the fans are seeing that I'm focusing on my craft and they respect that I get better in between fights. I think that's what the fans really appreciate is my ability to go out there and get better and as well as, inflict as much damage as possible. I like fighting. I enjoy scrapping. and the fans are receptive to that. So I appreciate that because I truly love it, and they could see it out of me, I think, and I think that's what it's about.
I had a buddy of mine who texted me like 15 minutes ago and wanted me to ask you this because I know you were a football player. I don't know how much you follow the NFL these days. You probably follow it a little bit, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm up here in Massachusetts. They got Brady. They got Gronk now. What do you think of their chances now? And how heartbroken should I be at this point?
If I was you, I would be pretty hurt right now, to be 100% honest. Because I don't know, man. I think he should have retired up there. What does he need that much more money for? Like, yeah, he has a crazy amount of money. But whatever, man. I would see it as disrespect if I was a Bostonian, but hey, that's just me. I think Tampa's not going to be that great still. I think it's the same story. But we'll see. Brady's, a hell of a leader. And Gronk he'll bring a lot of energy to your squad, that's for sure. So we'll see what happens, man. I think it definitely boosted their stock, that's for sure. Yeah. But as far as championship caliber, it takes a lot more than one guy. It's his football. If it was MMA, then maybe he could be champ. This is
wow. There you go. I think he's just got this. I think Brady's just got this massive chip on his shoulder right now. He wants to prove he could do it without Belichick. Plus, the paychecks aren't going to hurt either. He's making more money than he's ever made in his life. And geez Louise, to be that guy right now. But we'll see what happens.
Not a bad gig. Not a bad gig to be Tom Brady. That's for sure.
Absolutely. It's not a bad gig to be Dominick Reyes either, man. What a road this has been. We've made it to the promised land anyways. You're almost there. You're a win away from having that gold belt around your waist. And I can't thank you enough, man. It's always great catching up with you. And I'm glad we're able to do this after all this time. Stay safe, stay healthy. We look forward to seeing what is next for you. I appreciate it, man.
My pleasure, Mike. Have a good one, man. Peace.
Take care, brother.